I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, March 2nd. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo, Florida man himself. Tony, you just got back from a nice Florida vacation. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good, man. Refreshed, and I pulled my own Florida man yesterday. I'll share with the audience because it's goofy enough. I shared it with my friends enough. So I was supposed to be back early afternoon yesterday, and you ever miss your flight and you're right next to your gate?
You know, I have. I wasn't paying attention. They actually changed the gate to the one over, and sure enough, missed it.
So good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Southwest made me feel really good after they made me feel really stupid. But yeah, I was right next to my gate 105 at the Orlando airport. Stood there, didn't even have my headphones in for most of it. Like, I watched them line up the gates, and they had the people line. I was like C39, and I was one of the last to board. So I just kind of was like, yeah, okay, we're getting up, I'll just watch the signs, the now boarding Group A, Group B. I never listened, so I'm just like, I'll just watch the signs. And I was like, well, that's a long line for Group A, because everyone just kind of crowded around the main gate. I was like, I'm going to go pee real quick. I'll come back. I'll watch the signs. I went pee, stood there right in front of the gate, stretching, kind of walking in place. And then I see all these people standing around. And finally, I asked the ticket agent, you gonna board like the next group, or are we still on A? And she goes, we've been calling you. Like, we gave your spot away. And I said, I've been right here the whole time. And she goes, yeah, I seen you stand there, but I'm sorry, you weren't listening. You have to go talk to the ticket agent. So long story short, I go to the ticket agent. They're pissed because they gave my spot away to a standby passenger. And then the lady's scolding me about paying attention. And I said, look, I'll admit, my fault. I had these headphones in. They weren't very loud, but nonetheless, I didn't hear them call my name. Not like you can hear anything over the... But yeah, so long story short, because I know we got to get to our hypothetical questions. But yeah, I missed my flight. And it was a long travel night. I got in at 9. We got up early, tested this our new software to try to put out the show. And here we are, man. But a great trip, though. Fantastic trip. Just kind of some crappy endings there. That was it. Yeah.
If that was the worst of it, I think you were okay.
Yeah, it was good. And aside from the mean lady scolding me, Southwest was really cool about it. They had my bags waiting for me in Denver. Everybody was super friendly. The bag lady in Denver was like, dude, this happens all the time. Do not feel stupid. She goes, there are people that miss their flight and they're there and they don't pay attention because they're just sitting there reading or something and they have their ears clear. So, yeah. So I've now done that in my life, and I've never done that before. I've never missed a flight up until yesterday.
And the good news is you never make that mistake again.
Never, ever, ever. But here we are. I'm in studio. I am home. I am back in Colorado. So,
well, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. We'll make it quick and easy for you, Tony. Again, hypothetical. If you were going to commit armed burglary, home invasion, what would be your weapon of choice?
A banana.
Perfect.
Because who wouldn't be afraid of it? Exactly. It would be something stupid, right? Because I don't own a gun or anything. So,
well, this one's stupid, but also
dangerous. Up! This is my little baby gun.
A 57-year-old man was arrested after accusations he burglarized a home and used a makeshift flamethrower to shoot fire at a woman, according to a recently released affidavit.
Yoga fire.
The man, a Fort Pierce resident, may have had a burning sensation when he was in trouble when jailed February 23rd on a charge of felony burglary with assault or battery. The address where the incident occurred is redacted. A 911 caller reported to St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials a former tenant was at the scene. He chased the caller out and tried to barricade himself inside. The caller stated the man was using a can of hairspray along with a lighter to create a flame float.
Was it Aquanet?
It might have been. The woman identified as the victim.
He's on fire!
As the victim reported finding the man in her home armed with a purple Aussie hairspray can.
Okay.
It was Aussie, not Aquanet.
I remember Mom had Aussie, and I used to make my own little pyro things on the side of the house.
Hey, we all did. We all did G.I. Joes, but we didn't try to invade a home that way. So
no.
Well, folks, it is Tuesday, and we've got a wonderful show lined up for you today. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
It's Taco Tuesday!
As we do on Tuesdays, we have Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. We have a segment called What the Fact? Almost. Our call-in topic today is Your Happy Place. We have a segment called School Days. We round out the day with This Day in History, and Tony is up next with the entertainment news. Folks, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
Brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show on a Tuesday, March 2nd. Now we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It is our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you invaded a home with a makeshift flamethrower. We want to know about it. Give us a call at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now it is the second segment of this show, and that means Tony is here with the entertainment news.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 2nd, and here is your Filippo Fast 5. I was going to say your Phoenix Fast 5. I guess that works too, but your Filippo Fast 5.
It's been a week.
It has. Seth Rogen launches his own weed company called Houseplant, because why not? It doesn't surprise me that he's starting his own weed company, but
no.
Hell, it's called Houseplant. Gal Gadot is pregnant and expecting her third child. Didn't even know she had 2 kids, let alone a kid. But yeah, good on her and her husband there. Alec and Hilaria Baldwin, I probably said her name. It's probably like Hilaria Baldwin. Welcome their 6th child. So congrats to them. Josh Gordon teams up with Johnny Manziel in a startup fan-controlled football league. Kids, this is what happens when you can't get off the drugs and you still want to play football. like a fan-controlled football league, really? What did they play? Live action Madden? You better watch out. Snoop Dogg might rage quit on you.
Right.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that video of him rage quitting? I guess he left his stream going for like 7 hours on Twitch. It was just, he was frustrated because some kid just schooled him in Madden. I don't know if it was a kid. Somebody schooled him though.
When you're as high as Snoop Dogg and you rage quit, he must have been super pissed.
Yeah, look up the video just for fun, just to him getting mad. It is pretty funny.
Yeah,
J.J. Watt shocked the NFL world yesterday by taking to Twitter to announce his free agency decision. He is headed to the Arizona Cardinals on a 2-year deal worth $31 million, 23 of it's guaranteed. And I kind of blame J.J. for me missing my flight, because that's when I was texting you and Mike about JJ going to the Cardinals, because I was like, oh, he just posted a picture of him working out in a Cardinals shirt. But I digress. It's not really JJ's fault. It's my fault. You got to listen. You cannot look. You have to listen. We call your name. Still having nightmares, that lady yelling at me. But I digress. So the box office actually had a boost this weekend. We weren't doing the show yesterday live, so we couldn't talk box office. So a little box office report. And, I think in a normal world of movies, this one probably could have still been the number one even then. But, Tom and Jerry was the number one movie this week, and it opened with $13.7 million.
Wow.
That's a pretty impressive debut for a movie. The cast obviously has Chloe Grace Moretz, Michael Pena, Colin Jost, Ken Jeong, and Rob Delaney. From what I read, Tom and Jerry are basically just side characters in their own movie, but there you go. I haven't seen it, but it is getting pretty bombarded on Rotten Tomatoes, 25% on Rotten, so,
Yeah, it looked like a 25% type of movie.
Yeah, but hey, it's number one, and it's 13.7. That's a good boost for the box office. So any movie that's doing good at the box office to keep it alive, fantastic. Let's round out the top 10. The Croods in New Age still chugging along at number 2, brought in 1.2, brings its total of 52.3. The Little Things brought in 0.925, bringing its total to 12.9 million. That's crazy. So its entire run couldn't even do what Tom Jerry did in a weekend.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman 84 is number 4 at 0.71, bringing its total of 43.6. The Marksman, a.k.a. Taken 9, brought 0.7. It's up to 12.3 million. Judas Priest, just kidding. Judas and the Black Messiah, 0.5, brought in 4.1. Monster Hunter, 0.46, up to 14 million. And that's crazy to think, too. That came out at Christmas time, and Tom and Jerry's still knocking right behind that one. Land, never heard of it, 2.1. Nomad Lad, didn't hear of that one either, 1.1. And News of the World, 11.9. So that's your box office. And you got some heavy hitters coming out this weekend, so there's some good stuff. There's Raya and the Last Dragon from Disney that'll be out this weekend. SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run's finally getting a United States release. And then what was the big one? Chaos Walking, with Daisy Ridley and stuff. So you got actually 3 rather big movies. I dare to say they're movies that were delayed and we're finally getting. So this coming weekend at the box office should be pretty good. Probably should have done one big one for every weekend leading through the month, but I digress. But the box office showing some life, which is good. When I was out in Florida at the City Walk in Orlando, their movie theater, there's people going in and out of it. And granted, the only new movie I saw playing there really was Little Things. Everything else was Jurassic Park and surprisingly no Back to the Future for it being Universal, and you're at Universal Studios. They didn't have that. They just had some old movies and stuff, but nonetheless, not bad. So that was your box office report. Now, speaking of Back to the Future and Universal, Christopher Lloyd is on the hunt for DeLoreans in a new series called Expedition Back to the Future. The series will see Lloyd team up with Expedition Unknown host Josh Gates for a mission to track down existing versions of the DeLorean DMC-12, unique 1980s car model that served as the iconic time machine for the Back to the Future trilogy. Expedition Back to the Future will stream as a 4-part series on Discovery Plus starting on March 15th. The details, then it gives you a synopsis. Basically, it gives you a rundown of the DMC DeLorean, the history of it. One of those fancy cars in the 80s that never really took off, but thanks to Back to the Future, obviously became synonymous, and that's the car. I know where one of them's sitting. One of them's at Universal Studios. So
I have a feeling he's not looking for that one. I think he's looking for the one that's, in a barn somewhere, or, somebody has stashed away. But Josh Gates is a great host. Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown. That should be a fun show.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see if he
1.21 gigawatts.
If he quotes his stuff, and it's great to see anything where you can see former Back to the Future castmates doing something related to the movie, even if it's just something as simple as that. Now, Discovery Plus has some really good stuff, man. They've got some neat shows. I wish it was a part of the Disney thing, but
and that's probably the one streaming service I don't have right now, which. It's cheap. It's $4.99 a month, but I don't have time to watch it. So
no, it's another one. You got Paramount Plus that's about to roll. There's a lot of stations, man. Peacock's getting bigger. After I crack jokes of its name, it's getting bigger and acquiring more and more content. So it's a digital streaming world, my friend. So speaking of digital streaming services here, we've got a new show that I think you're going to be excited about. Nickelodeon has announced that their new animated Transformer series will be on Earth. So it won't take place in Cybertron. It'll be on Earth. A new take on the Transformers is going to be courtesy of Nickelodeon, teaming with the Hasbro Entertainment One. It will be an original animated series based on the beloved property, which follows extraterrestrial robots who can disguise themselves. Well, no duh. To look like all manner of vehicles and objects. The new series will introduce a new species of Transformers who must find their place and purpose among Autobots, Decepticons, and the human family that adopts them. Nickelodeon's Transformers will consist of 26 half-hour episodes and is due to premiere exclusive on Nickelodeon in the U.S. before rolling out internationally. As soon as they're interviewing As I read the creative concept with at its core, it's about a family, I knew we absolutely had to tell the story. Our good friends at E1 and Hasbro, said Ramsey Nato, president of Nickelodeon Animation. The series will tell a reimagined story featuring both original characters and fan favorites for a whole new generation of kids and families. They can't wait to get started building. The series has experienced talent on board. It's being produced by Ant Ward of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Nicole Dubik, Transformers Rescue Bots. The new Transformers series will be developed and will be co-produced by Dale Malinowiski, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Probably would like it a little better if it was the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon, because they did that great. But Rise, I never. And to be fair, I never watched an episode. I had no desire to watch it.
Yeah, it doesn't give me high hopes. As far as Transformers series go, probably not the most recent, but Transformers Prime was a fantastic, well-written, well-done visually for Transformers. They did Cyberverse, which was a little more kiddie. This one sounds like it's going to be along the lines of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I don't know. I'll give it a shot, but I don't have high hopes.
Yeah, you're like, and Herbert, no. And then with that being said, we've got a minute left. So we'll just go ahead and roll the birthdays. I'll save that other story for tomorrow. Not that it was more filler, but. Oh, yes! This comedic actress who became known for playing Kristen Wiig's roommate in Bridesmaids. She portrayed Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect 1 and 2. Rebel Wilson is 40. Singer, songwriter, best known as the lead vocalist of the rock band Bon Jovi. He was famous for Living on a Prayer, It's My Life, Always, and Bed of Roses. Personally, my favorite was You Give Love a Bad Name, but I digress. John Bon Jovi is 58. This gentleman married Gwyneth Paltrow. They had a son together. He dated Jennifer Lawrence and Dakota Johnson, and he founded some band called Coldplay. Chris Martin is 43. This quarterback was Rookie of the Year in 2004 and was the youngest starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl when his team defeated the Seahawks in 2006. He would then win his second Super Bowl against the Cardinals, and then he would lead a team to be 11-0 and then fall apart. Mr. Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers, 38, and he looks older than that. But
yeah, he does.
Yeah, maybe mean. Bryce Dallas Howard is 39. Method Man is 49. Tua Tagovailoa, I don't know if I said that right. I'm sure I butchered that. He's 22. And Zach freaking Morris, Mark Paul Gosselaar, is 47. That is your celebrity birthdays for March 2nd. Happy birthday.
And folks, that does it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it is time for Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show on a Tuesday, March 2nd. Now, we are all over social media with many of you watching us as we speak on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Now, if you want to get a hold of us on social, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Fenix Media Radio. Media. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94 or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, being that it's Tuesdays, we'd like to do on Tuesdays is talk animal tales sponsored by roughriders.org. Now, Rough Riders is a local 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the transport of animals from the outlying rural, for lack of a better term, kill shelters, bringing those dogs into the metro area here, working with local rescues and shelters to find them homes, give them a second chance at life. If you want more information, go to roughriders.org. That's RUFF riders.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/roughriderssaves. And without further ado, let's get into animal tales.
Dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, the donkey brays and the pony neighs, the old great badger sighs.
Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo.
Good old-fashioned hoedown.
It's a hoedown.
All right, let's get into our first animal tale. So the Rampo Bergen Animal Refuge in New Jersey is a shelter of last resort. Our purpose is really to take the ones that don't have anywhere else to go, and that was Sadie, said Executive Director Megan Brinster. Sadie was nearly 100 pounds, and she wasn't great with men, which is why 3 other shelters turned her away. It's also why Brian Myers adopted her. I thought, let me give this dog a chance because she's beautiful and I think I can work through her issues, Myers said. He thought he was rescuing her. Little did he know he was saving his savior. I was very lucky to have her the night that I had the stroke, Myers said. I was getting up out of bed, and as soon as I stood up here, I fell straight down, and my cell phone was over there. And that's when I grabbed her collar, and she pulled me out of this little space here. Sadie pulled him across the room to his phone. As far as I know, she had never been trained as a service dog or anything, Myers said. Brinster said rescue dogs are often incredibly loyal. When you have a dog who has lost something, all the dogs that come here have lost a family, a person, or they never quite had that. Okay, not a complete sentence. So when they make the connection, you really become their world, Brinster said. Myers said Sadie constantly tracks him. Obviously, she was there the night he needed her most. Myers was rushed to Englewood Health in Englewood, New Jersey that night. He spent a couple weeks in treatment and rehabilitation. Just before his release, he had a very grateful visitor. She just immediately jumped on me and was kissing my face, knocked my glasses and my mask off. I just thought, I love this dog, he said. You don't need to be Dr. Doolittle to hear Sadie say, I love you too. What a sweet story about a rescue dog. Obviously, the whole purpose behind something like Rough Riders and, some of the great nonprofits that are out there. And it really is rewarding what a rescue dog can do for you.
Right. Well, it can uplift your spirits, make you feel better, especially when you fall into those down times where life is tough and you're depressed or you got struggles. Sometimes just having the little dog or an animal just near you to uplift you is always a good thing.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to our next animal tale. This one takes a little bit of a turn. An Alaska woman had the scare of a lifetime when using an outhouse in the backcountry, and she was attacked by a bear from below. I got out there and sat down on the toilet, and immediately something bit my butt right as I sat down. Shannon Stevens told the Associated Press on Thursday. I jumped up and screamed when it happened. Stevens Well, brother Eric and his girlfriend had taken snowmobiles into the wilderness February 13th to stay at his yurt, located about 20 miles northwest of Haines in the southeast of Alaska. Her brother heard the screaming and went out to the outhouse about 150 feet away from the yurt. There he found Shannon tending to her wound. They at first thought she had been bitten by a squirrel or a mink or something small. Eric had brought his headlamp with him to see what it was. I opened the toilet seat, and there's just a bear face just right there at the level of the toilet seat, just looking right back up through the hole right at me, he said. I just shut the lid as fast as I could and said, "There's a bear down there. We got to get out of here now." And we ran back to the yurt as fast as we could. Once safely inside, they treated Shannon with a first aid kit. They determined it wasn't that serious, but they would head to Haines if it worsened. It was bleeding, but it wasn't super bad, Shannon said. The next morning, they found bear tracks all over the property, but the bear had left the area. You could see them across the snow coming up to the side of the outhouse, she said. They figured the bear got inside the outhouse through an opening at the bottom of the back door. I expect it's probably not that bad of a little den in the winter, Shannon said, but definitely goes to show that, if you're pooping in an outhouse, maybe check the hole before you sit down.
I thought you were going to say snake. Was not expecting a bear to bite that lady's ass. I didn't expect that.
No, not at all.
But also, man, I'm sorry. Like I try to avoid those things like at all costs. The outhouses, they're disgusting.
Well, when you're in the middle of Alaska and there's no other choice, maybe you hover a little bit, but
yeah, it's true.
Don't put ass to seat.
You never go ass to seat. At least make sure you're looking first.
Yeah. My fear is always like black widows and spiders and things like that. Ugh.
What a bear, though, man. Whoa.
That's terrifying. All right, let's move on to our last story in Animal Tales. This one is sort of animal adjacent and almost a little scary if you're a little afraid of the robots taking over. 2 men were being held hostage in a Bronx apartment. They had been threatened at gunpoint, tied up, and tortured for hours by 2 other men who pretended to be plumbers to get inside, police
Mario
said.
and Luigi.
One of the victims managed to escape and called police, who showed up early Tuesday morning at the apartment on East 227th Street, unsure if the armed men were still inside. The police decided it was time to deploy DigiDog, a 70-pound robotic dog with a lopping gait, cameras and lights affixed to its frame, and a 2-way communication system that allows the officer maneuvering it remotely to see and hear what is happening. The police said the robot can see in the dark and assess how safe it is for officers to enter an apartment or building where there may be a threat. In the case of the Bronx home invasion, the police said that DigiDog helped the officers determine that there was no one inside. The police said they were still searching for the 2 men who stole a cell phone and $2,000 in cash and used a hot iron to burn one of the victims. The NYPD has been using robots since the 1970s to save lives in hostage situations and hazmat incidents, the department said on Twitter. This model of robot is being tested to evaluate its capabilities against other models in use by our emergency service unit and bomb squad. But the robot has skeptics. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat, described DigiDog on Twitter as
DigiDog,
a robotic surveillance ground drone. Please ask yourself, when was the last time you saw next generation world-class technology for education, healthcare, housing, etc., consistently prioritizing for underserved communities like this, she said on Twitter. The City Council passed the Public Oversight of Surveillance Technology Act last June amid efforts to overhaul the police force, many of them triggered by BLM demonstrations. Ultimately, it goes to show that, the police are instituting new high-tech ways to get in there, and DigiDog is a terrifying thing if you think that the machines are going to rise up. Because, it can get in, it can be knocked over, what if they arm it? But ultimately, they're using it for good now. It's a life-saving tool. It's supposed to help officers in the line of duty. So let's just hope it doesn't go sentient, or else we've got some big problems there.
And then it needs to have the Digimonster theme song. DigiDog Monster, DigiDog. You remember that dumb song?
Oh, I do. I do now, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking that whole story. Digi-Dog, chasing Mario, Digi-Dog.
So much fun. Well, folks, that does it for Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. When we come back, we have a segment called What the Fact. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know
America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. We are back, folks, to the final segment of the first hour, but don't fret, there is still plenty ahead with our second hour, including our call-in topic of your happy place. Can be figurative, can be literal. We just want to know, what is your happy place? Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think and tell your friends, because sharing is caring. Now, speaking of sharing is caring, every once in a while, we like to drop some mind-blowing facts on you, which is why we have titled this segment, What the Fact? Now, these are, some doozies of facts that are actually quite amazing. Going to go through, get your reaction, Tony, and it should take us right up to the end of the hour. So,
Alrighty.
Tony, are you ready for the first What the Fact?
Ready for What the Fact.
Hold on to your butts.
Guess what, bitch?
So apparently the scent of fresh cut grass is really the grass screaming in pain. The smell is a distress signal that tells insect not to eat the grass so it can heal its wounds. I had no idea. All I know. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, that's a fact, Jack, but.
You know, I think I even have that soundbite around here.
You do, I'm sure.
I have no idea where I put it.
I like those odds.
Never mind, I found it. You know, we've been off for a week. We're getting back into the groove of things. It's going to happen. But in any case, let's get on to the next What the Fact. Apparently, the word avocado is derived from an Aztec word that means testicle.
That's the fact, Jack!
Found it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was going to say, that one I did not...
Macho Man Randy Savage is not happy with your decision, yeah.
Yeah, did not know that.
But it makes sense. If you look at an avocado, of course, you know, most guys aren't quite that robust, but, you know, it's wrinkly and it looks like an overgrown testicle, for lack of a better term.
Just green.
Just green, exactly.
Just green.
Let's keep moving on with What the Fact. Apparently, lobsters' bladders are in their heads and they urinate as a form of communication.
That's the fact, Jack!
That's kind of scary.
That is
their heads, and that's how they talk to one another. Could you imagine if they did that?
Dobby, I gotta pee.
Let's keep moving on. We're talking What the Fact. Here's one. There are more ways to shuffle a deck of cards than there are atoms on Earth.
That's the fact, Jack!
Now, I don't know how they could possibly test that. However, if you figure 52 cards in a deck and the different ways that it could be shuffled, basically 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 1 over 2. Yeah, there's probably millions upon millions of different ways that it could possibly be shuffled. Again, I don't know who put that much brain power into thinking of that, but good for them.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving on. We're talking What the Fact. So Count Von Count on Sesame Street is obsessed with counting because traditional folklore states that if you scatter a large number of small objects in a vampire's path, think coins, seeds, grains, that sort of thing, they are compelled to stop and count them all.
That's the fact, Jack!
I think that's one of those rarely known vampire myths. Everybody knows about garlic or holy water or crosses or stakes to the heart or daylight. I didn't realize that, you know, if you dump a bunch of jelly beans, they have to count them all.
Right. Didn't know that either.
And make for a really boring Twilight movie, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's keep moving on. We're talking What the Fact. Gargoyles were invented because many ancient Europeans were illiterate and they needed a physical representation of hell to scare them into going to church.
That's the fact, Jack!
That's why you went to church, right, Tom?
That's totally why I went. Totally. The only reason why.
Yeah, those scary gargoyles.
The gargoyles scared me, and I had no choice.
On a weird side note, Gargoyles Disney series, well worth a watch.
It was a good show.
It was a good show. A little bit later for us, you know, in our cartoon watching days, but they did well. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on with What the Fact. Apparently, if you eat a polar bear liver, you will die from an overdose of vitamin A.
That's the fact, Jack!
Oh.
I couldn't tell you what else in the world contains vitamin A, but apparently whatever they change around in their liver turns it into pure vitamin A. And I don't know if you will die from an overdose, but I'm certainly sure you could die as an overdose.
That's a lot of vitamin A. Yikes.
Yeah. Oh, moving on with What's the Fact. I think I would rather bleed to death than utilize this. Apparently, spiders' webs were used as bandages in ancient times.
That's the fact.
You wouldn't be down with that one?
No, I don't like spiders. All I think about is the movie Arachnophobia with the giant, spider nest and the spiders crawling out of that. And it's enough to make my skin crawl.
Gotcha. It's probably a good thing I don't recall watching that movie as a kid.
Yeah.
Is that where yours stemmed from?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure that's
It's like my fear of sharks, my fascination with sharks, and then my fear is probably Jaws.
Right.
Like, I love the movie. But then when you look at Jaws, he's kind of a hokey looking shark, man.
Well, Bruce, you barely saw him in the first movie because he didn't work half the time. So
yeah, it's true.
Let's keep moving on with What the Fact. Tony, do you know what the very first words were that Mickey Mouse ever said?
Oh, boy. It wasn't that.
But no cigar. No, the first thing Mickey Mouse ever said was hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Yeah. Hot dog, Poodle.
And you know what? If you think about it, and when my kids were growing up, they watched the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the CG one, and he said hot dog all the time. So
he did say hot dog a lot. Hot dog.
All right, let's keep moving forward. What the Fact, Tony? You will never look at Knuckles from the Sonic series again. Echidnas have a four-headed penis. Ducks have a corkscrew-shaped penis.
That's the fact, Jack.
Weird.
That's crazy.
So is it in his forehead?
Nope. It's where it would normally be.
Hello, Sonic. Look at my forehead.
Gives new meaning to the name Knuckles, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not four knuckles on his fist, right?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yikes.
Let's keep moving on. U.S. cicadas come out of the ground every 13 or 17 years after hatching.
That's the fact, Jack.
And if you're trying to sleep when that happens, good luck. They are super loud.
They are very loud. I didn't hear any this time in Florida. I usually hear them when I'm out there. I didn't hear any.
You must have been outside that 13 to 17 year window.
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's keep rolling on with What the Fact. Here's one that I'm mentally doing the measurements for. It says the distance between your earlobes is the same as the distance between your nipples.
That's the fact, Jack.
Unless you've had a lot of kids and, they're hanging a little bit lower than they used to.
Yeah, I'd say that could be. That's a weird thought. I guess visually looking at myself on the screen, I guess maybe.
And I assume everybody listening right now is mentally doing the same thing, or they're physically.
They're just like, really? Is that true? Is that really true?
I don't know. I didn't come up with these. I'm just reading them. Speaking of which, let's keep talking. What the Fact? Ooh. It's not Words Are Hard Wednesday, but let's see if I can get this one out. The fear of long words is known as hippopotamonstrossequipedalophobia.
That's the fact, Jack.
Sounds like you nailed that one. I mean, I'm glad I didn't flippo that.
Why would you name the fear of long words a super long word? Because then you couldn't even tell people that you have that fear because you wouldn't want to say it.
Yeah. I have a fear of long words, but I can't tell you what it is because it's too long and it scares me.
Let's keep moving on. We're talking What the Fact. People often say that cubes aren't naturally found in nature. Well, that's not necessarily true because wombats have cube-shaped poop.
That's the fact, Jack.
Oh.
And it's absolutely true. If you go on Google, type in wombat poop, sure enough, there are little cubes that pop out.
It's crazy. Would you like some chocolate ice cubes? My wombat will produce.
Here's a way to ensure your legacy if you're a big name in something. The man who invented the Frisbee was turned into a Frisbee when he died.
That's the fact, Jack.
So like, did they melt him into plastic or?
This is one of those that needs more explanation.
Like
need more of the story on because
I created the Frisbee, but when I die, I want to be turned into a Frisbee. Okay.
Right. And does some college student have him out there playing Frisbee golf?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I lost Roger again. Roger's stuck in the tree. Oh, poor Roger.
Roger.
Poor Roger. Let's keep moving on with What the Fact. Every minute, we lose about 30,000 to 40,000 dead skin cells. That's about 9 pounds of skin cells a year. You probably just lost 40,000 skin cells in the time it took you to hear this.
That's the fact, Jack.
Wow.
And that's gross. That's just flat out gross.
Good thing you can't really see it, because that's pretty nasty.
Well, and you think about, how much time you spend in bed with your pillow and your mattress and how many dead skin cells are hanging out in there.
Yeah.
Sleep tight, everybody. All right, and let's move on with what the fact. Apparently, hippos can't swim. They almost always maintain contact with the bottom, or they bounce off the bottom as they move through water, and they are fast.
That's the fact, Jack.
I didn't know that. I always thought they could swim because they're always in the water.
I thought so too, but apparently they just bounce off the bottom, and that's how they move around. But if you're ever in the Amazon near a hippo, don't be. It's you're pretty much guaranteed to be dead. But in any case, folks, that does it for What the Fact. That does it for the first hour. We're headed into our long break, and when we come back, it is time for our interactive topic of the day, your happy place. Let us know what your happy place is.
Ooh.
Do not go anywhere. Go ahead and grab a cup of coffee. Use the potty break. Listen to the news, and we will see you shortly. You're
I know.
You don't? Oh, man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show on this Tuesday, March 2nd. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Stanfilippo. Tony, are you ready for the fastest hour of the day?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's roll.
You know, we're getting back into the groove of things. Obviously, Tony was on vacation last week, which is why we ran best ofs. But, we're back, live shows, and actually that brings us to the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listener, which is why we have our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line called the Fenix Line at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RADIO. You can also chime in on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. And starting tomorrow, we're rolling out a new method to talk with folks live on the air. So if you want to, head over to your app store, whether it's Apple or Android, and download the Stereo app. It's just called Stereo. Icon's a little black background, little microphone. Register in there, and then you look up the Kristian Fenix radio show. And when it's time for the interactive portion of the show, all you have to do is just go into the queue. We'll pull you up, and we'll talk to you about what your pick is for the day. Now, I was talking about Tony being on vacation, and, I know that Tony's happy place is the beach. He doesn't get to the beach very often. He would visit me in California when I lived there. He was just in Florida spending some time there. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about your happy place. Is it a literal happy place like the beach, or is it a figurative happy place like diving into a good book? We want to know about it. Now, Tony, we know that the beach is your happy place. Tell us a little bit about why that's the case.
Yeah, it's peaceful and relaxing to me. I feel like I can collect my thoughts. There's no stress. I love soaking in the air, people watch. I love the sand. There's just everything about it. And it's, this was my first time going to Clearwater Beach in Florida. I've never been, drove over to the Tampa Bay side, never been. I love exploring new places. That's why I travel so much. So people are always like, well, you always travel. Well, because I like to get out, I get burned out of doing the same thing every day. And, I like to clear my head, but there's something about just staring off into the water and listening to the waves crash and watching that sunset. It just centers me, man. It's very peaceful. It's like Clerks too. How like for Randall, like driving go-karts just centers him and it just puts you at ease. Like there's no stress. And I think because I missed my flight yesterday, there were so many like weird things that happened to me at the end of the trip that normally it probably would piss me off, but it just didn't,
Okay.
It's like you're just centered, you just chill.
Good. Well, and that's what we want. We want to hear what helps you hit that reset button. For me, it's not any physical location as far as a country or a beach or anything like that. It is actually the movie theaters. And it's been tough because theaters have been closed down for a big part of everything that's been going on. And then, there hasn't been new releases, but I work so hard during the week and my brain is always going that I love sitting in a theater, fully engulfed in a movie for 2 hours at a time, just sucked into this other world where, I don't have to worry about my day or what's going to happen next or anything along those lines. I can just get lost in a movie, recharge those batteries, hit that reset button, and, really come out of there feeling refreshed. Even if it is a suspenseful thriller horror movie, I still come out just knowing that, I've gone in and recharged those batteries.
Yeah, that's always a great release. I love going to the theaters as well, and I completely understand why you would go there as your happy place, because you do get to escape reality for a few hours. And I think that's what finding your happy place is, where things get too stressful or you got lots of decisions to make. I mean, it's not like me disappearing to the beach made all my upcoming plans and stuff disappear. They're all still much there. It just gave me a little more clarity, a little more thought process, and I'm not saying I don't overthink things, because that's one of my biggest flaws. I overthink everything, everything. So,
but that's okay. And that's why we need these places that we can go to, or things that we do that just clear the mind, give you a little perspective, give you time to relax, and then you can get back to whatever you were doing with renewed eyes and sort of a refreshed, ambition. And folks, that is what we are looking for. We want to know your happy place. Again, it can be literal, like a beach. It can be figurative, like getting lost in a book, watching a movie, anything along those lines. We just want to hear about it. So head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click on the live video there and comment there with your happy place. Folks, when we come back, it is all about you. So go ahead and chime in now, and we will be back in just a couple minutes.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. We are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show on a Tuesday, March 2nd. Now, we're smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners and watchers, on our topic of the day. Just head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click into the live video there and comment with your happy place. Before the break, we were talking about Tony's happy place being the beach. Obviously, he just got back from Florida after spending a week in his happy place. Mine is the movie theaters, which I haven't been able to do as often because of obvious reasons. However, that's what we're looking for. Is it a literal? Is it a figurative happy place? We want to know about it. Now, Tony, I assume you've had a couple folks chime in on your end about what their happy place is.
I have had a few, yes. And it's funny because when I reached out, they're like, you know where our happy place is? I'm like, well, yeah, I know that.
Elaborate.
Yeah, you know. So for Lacey, it's Disney World or the beach. She just absolutely loves it. In fact, we discussed yesterday why I was stranded in Orlando. They had another awesome sale from Denver to Orlando. It was like $49 airfares, so it was really cheap. So I'm going to go out there for my 40th and join them on the Disney excursion this time.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's their happy place. They were like, "Hey, you want to go to Disney?" I'm like, yeah. Because I didn't go on this. I didn't go on this run because of, I had the Orlando pass, the Orlando pass, the Universal Studios pass, and Disney is awesome to do, but doing it solo, not as fun, I guess.
Right. And you have to do it in multiple days too. It's not something you can get done all in one day. Not only is it expensive, but there's just too much. You're standing in line most of that time. And so it makes sense.
I reached out to Mike and I was like, "Hey man, I got all day Sunday. What do you think? I'll go to Disney Studios, or Hollywood Studios and I want to go do Rise of the Resistance." He goes, I would probably not do that for $140. And I'm glad I didn't, because I was talking to a guy on the plane and him and his family went. They were there for 5 days. He did not get on Rise of the Resistance one time. He did the lottery every day. He was on resort. He got up at 6:30 every morning or 6:45. Never got a boarding pass. He got a standby one time, and he never made it to his boarding group. So he never got to ride it, and he was there the whole week. So, Mike, thank you, buddy, because I almost did. I was this close to booking a one-day Disney day, and I didn't do it.
You saved yourself $150.
No,
I Universal too.
Yeah, I had a great time at Universal. Got to hang out with our friend Lori all day Sunday, so I'm not complaining. It was a great day. But yeah, for Lace, it was Disney World or the beach. For Mike, it's definitely Disney or the beach as well. More specifically, Wilderness Lodge is a definite happy place. Epcot at sunset, and sitting by the waterfall at the Trader Sam's patio at dusk with some pulled pork, fried rice, and a spiky pineapple to drink.
Ooh,
that sounds like just peaceful heaven there, Yeah.
Yeah, and then top it off with some Dole Whip.
That's something I didn't even have while I was out there. There's no Dole Whip. I don't think there was Dole Whip at Universal. I wasn't really looking for it. It was go ride the Harry Potter rides, which, by the way, that Harry Potter's that Hagrid's in the green the motorbike ride, their new one, freaking phenomenal. Good job. Well done, roller coaster, man. I guess the Velociraptor is the Jurassic Park one that opens this summer. They took the walls down while I was there, so I got to watch it. So I got to watch the coaster just go. No one got to ride it, but they just ran it. and just let people just tease people, but never got to get on it. So I wasn't lucky enough to be a test person. I don't know if they've put test people on it yet, but I digress. This isn't about my vacation. And let's see, I got another one. I just have to bring it up here. For Jamie Anna, her favorite or her happy place is just a road trip. She likes to go. Doesn't matter if it's 3 hours or 3 days. She loves the feeling of just being free to go. Good music, open road, open schedule, just no agenda really. Sometimes just get in the car and drive. So, hey, and that's great. That's a fantastic way to clear your mind, center yourself, and just get lost. It's all about going on these adventures sometimes that just make it great.
I absolutely can relate. I go down to see the boys pretty much once a month. They're about 8 hour to 10 hour drive away from me. And the drive down is always nice. I'll throw on some podcasts, I'll throw on some music and just sort of relax and stick with my thoughts and see the scenery. Of course, drive safely at the same time. But, it's a great way to clear the head. And for a lot of people, it is their happy place.
Yeah, it's really a good thing. It used to be a good decompressant when I used to work down in Thornton, live in Thornton, and I'd commute up here to Fort Collins. That drive, sometimes it was just peaceful because you got to listen to the podcast and drive. Now, the traffic was no bueno,
Yeah, anytime you have to deal with traffic, it's that adds stress. It's not nothing calming about traffic at all.
No, absolutely not. So, but yeah, great picks there. And then I did message our friend Stacy, but we'll see if she says anything. If she does, I'll let us know. But that's all I have on my end.
Not a problem. And there is still time left, folks. We are talking about your happy place. Is it literal? Is it figurative? Chime in now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Let us know what your happy place is. I assume something popped up for you, Tone?
Yeah, she popped up. Her uncle and aunt's house in San Francisco. That's her happy place. Likes to go there. And I know it's just it's a few of her favorite family members. So it's always great to get out and just be somewhere where it feels like home, Yeah.
Like I was going to say anything that brings back good memories, anything that's, family related, especially if it is, again, good memories. That's always a happy place for people.
Yeah. Especially if it holds a special place in your heart. Like that's how I feel when I go home, when I see all the friends and family. It's awesome. And it goes so fast because there's so many, and you want to fit everybody in, but like I always have to squeeze, I always have to squeeze Lake Tahoe in there because Lake Tahoe is another one of my favorite places to be. And it doesn't matter. The only time I won't make it up there is if it's snowing because I'm too much of a wimp to drive up the pass to get up there. But yeah, if it's clear roads, you'll definitely find me up that way.
And it all makes sense. We live in a beautiful, beautiful area here in Northern Nevada. It is sort of a unkept secret that, people are coming in from all outside of the, areas they think we're Las Vegas adjacent, just in the middle of the desert. But, we've got Lake Tahoe just a 20-minute drive away, which is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's stunning. I think everyone should go visit Tahoe at some point in their life. I could describe it to you, but words don't do justice. You have to see it. Send you pictures, all that stuff, but you gotta be there.
Both in summer and winter, because it
absolutely.
is very different in those two different times of the year.
Absolutely. Bella chimed in too. Hers are school,
okay,
Disney World, and the beach. So not too far. Like Disney World and the beach, I think will always be that. We'll always remind her of mom and dad and all the fun adventures she's having through her kid. Through her childhood, through her childhood. As she gets older, these are just great memories. And now she's getting old enough to understand a lot more of those things, and that's just awesome. So,
well, and most kids wouldn't say school. For most kids, school. But it's a great place to see your friends, to hang out. If school comes easy to you, it's it's not that difficult. You get through the schoolwork, and the social aspects are very rewarding.
Yeah, For me, it was always about the social aspect. Yeah, it was definitely not the schoolwork.
Yeah. And if you stay tuned for the next segment, we might be talking a little bit about that. So just a little tease for that. But we do still have a few minutes left. We're talking your happy place. We want to hear what is your happiest place to go or happiest place to be. Now, I did pull up a list of the happiest places on Earth. And according to a number of sources, the number one happiest place is Finland. Who would have thunk?
Okay.
So Finland, where gorgeous nature abounds, humans do not, and peacefulness factors into the chemical composition of the air, nodding to studies that have shown the stress-reducing, happiness-boosting powers of nature and playing on everyone's surging desire to travel like a local. The Finnish Tourism Board has joined forces with a coaching company to launch a free Rent-a-Fin initiative. Seriously. You're welcome to apply and be matched with one of 8 handpicked locals, regular people turned happiness guides, who will share their favorite spots for truly Finnish experiences, authentic connections, and nature appreciation. Just know that you might wind up working in a vegetable patch or foraging for berries. Okay, I've got that close enough here with Tahoe that I don't need to be picking berries anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Picking berries, yeah.
The number 2 spot of happiest place on Earth, actually our friends in Volbeat are from there, Denmark. So last year's number 3 moves up a spot.
Volbeat!
And here's one explanation: the food. Sure, exemplary social services, paid family leave policies, and other quality of life programs add to the happiness factor, but the stellar and sustainable cuisine has to play a huge role. And we don't mean just the critical darlings, think renowned and recently reopened Noma, with nearly all supermarkets now featuring a local section and many restaurants, even urban ones, boasting on-site farms. The Danish dedication to eating and living well is no joke. Add to that the ancient castles, covet-worthy design, and yes, the hygge, and you'll want to cozy up here ASAP. I don't know what a hygge is, but might be worth checking out. And then finally, in the happiest places on Earth, in that same region, Norway. Always at the top or near the top of the list, Norway is also repeatedly declared Europe's most beautiful country. So the scenery can't help but, with thanks to Marie Kondo, spark joy. Then again, local academics and experts have attributed Norwegians' happiness to social equality, a strong welfare safety net, and other social programs. But I get the sense that, if you're traveling to Northern Europe, to any of these, what would you call them, Nordic-type countries, they're quite beautiful, and you'll have a nice, serene time.
Yeah, that's it all sounds awesome. I'd love to visit some of these countries. I think it'd be really cool.
I would too. Jesse spent some time in Iceland a couple years ago and absolutely loved it. But in any case, folks, that does it for our interactive portion of the show, Talking Your Happy Place. When we come back, we've got a segment called School Days. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Goobo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. We are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show on a Tuesday, March 2nd. Now, we talk about it a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever, including our topic of the day. Now, that number is 855-PHOENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDIO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, tomorrow's interactive topic is your nerdiest obsession. Now, the reason we're doing that is Fenix Media, our parent company, our broadcast platform, is making the switch next Monday from just a general internet talk radio station to the multiverse of pop culture entertainment. So all of the programs, or at least 99% of the programs, will be based around pop culture topics like video games, comic books, tabletop games, cosplay, anime, nerd culture, whatever it may be. And so we want to celebrate that with a call-in topic of your nerdiest obsession.
Excellent.
And it doesn't even have to be pop figures like what's behind Tony. It could be spoons. It could be Hummels. It could be whatever it is. You know, whatever's nerdy to you, we want to hear about it. Now, the other thing that we've done is we've instituted a app called Stereo. So if you go over and download the Stereo app, easy to find, just type in Stereo, black background, little red microphone. And then from there, all you have to do is look up the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. You can even listen to the full show live. And when it's time for the interactive portion, we just bring you in and we talk to you live from there. So we're getting back to the live calls as well.
Looks like Cheech. Or is that Chong? It's Cheech, right?
A little bit like Cheech. Yep.
Hey.
But
yeah, you know, it's funny. I tried to download that on the Mac and it didn't pop up. And I go, where the hell is this app that he's talking about? So I did it on the phone and there you go.
Yeah, you got to do it on your mobile phone, but it utilizes the microphone, and, you know, we can have a nice conversation from there. So it's fun that we're making a few changes around here, but they are all for the better. With that being said, I digress. Let's get into our next segment, which I like to call School Days. Now, for many parents out there, homeschooling has been a way of life for at least the last year. And, you know, it's not easy. You sort of appreciate what teachers are doing now more than ever. And of course, you know, you almost have to learn the same curriculum that the kids learning in order to help them out, teach them. And in some cases, the kids enjoy it. You know, my boys enjoy finishing their schoolwork up by noon because they get it all done. You know, they don't have that few extra hours that they sit around, but of course they lose out on the social side of things. But with that being said, we're going to run down basically parents who can't take their kids learning from home anymore, and just how parents can relate to what's happening with homeschooling. Hopefully kids will start going back here soon. Let's see, what would be a good differentiating one here? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, let's just go with the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For instance, you have this post, which is a clip from, or a picture from Billy Madison, Adam Sandler sitting in the class. And what was it, the first grade class, second grade class, where with the hot teacher?
Oh, Veronica Vaughn, so hot, want to the shiny. Oh.
In any case, he's sitting in there looking confused, and it says, me and my kids' daily Zoom meeting trying to learn second grade math. I don't know at what point teachers changed math around, but math isn't what math used to be. Now it's all this new math, and it's strange, and it's all word problems. Luckily, I'm able to pick it up pretty quickly, but I feel bad for poor Jesse, who's helped the boys out a couple times, and it's just different. It's all weird now.
Yeah. I don't have kids. I don't know. I've heard enough of my my friends that have kids have told me. So I hear the stories where it's just like, what just happened to the basics? Like, the basics seem to be just fine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. Well, let's keep moving on with school days.
School days.
Here's a brilliant idea from a parent. If the kid's driving you a little nuts, it says, if you see my kids locked outside today, mind your own business. We're having a fire drill. You remember those days? Fire drill, you go outside, stand around, and brilliant work from home workaround.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're going to have to go out. It's nice out. So fire drill.
While you're at it, duck and cover.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving on. We're talking school days. Oh, yeah. Parents who are a little tired of distance learning. Picture of a little old lady with a big old smile. It says, here's Sue, 31 years old, homeschooling her kids for the last 5 days. Great job, Sue. Keep it up. Yeah, homeschooling has a way of aging you very quickly.
Yeah.
And, especially if you're working at home at the same time, it's a juggling act.
I do 7 jobs and I'm only 29. Not only am I a manager, but I also raise my 2 kids who raise their kids, and they all zoom all day long. It's what the kids call it, zoom.
Zoom. Let's keep moving on, talking school days. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know a lot of parents can relate to this one. It says, it may take a village to raise a child, but I swear it's going to take a vineyard to homeschool one. A lot of day drinking going on with parents teaching from home or helping their kids homeschool because, let's face it, in some cases you might need it.
Yeah. Can I just digress and say that, go off the beaten path for a second, but I'm glad that we didn't have this as kids. Like, I couldn't imagine being homeschooled. Like, on one hand, it sounds pretty rad. Sounds cool. But on the other hand, like, not being able to see your friends and you're always home all the time.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel really bad for the parents, though. I mean,
well, we
working full-time jobs and all that stuff. Oof.
For kids, it's the social aspect. And then, parents are already working from home trying to do their job on top of trying to teach, kids new math of all things. And it's tough. It is a juggling act, but it definitely goes to show that teachers need to be paid well. But hopefully they get back to school here pretty soon.
Yeah, Friday just told me that Bella's not a fan of doing the homeschool.
I don't blame.
Because that was her place when they still lived in Holdridge. She had her friend Creighton. I probably said his name wrong. She's gonna say it's Creighton, Uncle Tone, and I'll say, I'm sorry. I butcher names. That's what I do.
Isn't a Cretan like an old-timey...
I think his name is Creighton. He's a good kid. I think his name is Creighton. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name. She'll tell me in a second. So.
Well, let's move on.
It don't take long to get a response.
Let's move on with school days.
Were you going to say ho-ho? Like,
no, I was homeschooling, but...
okay. You stopped at the ho, and I was like, oh.
This is along the lines of the last one I read. Says, quick homeschooling question for you. Does having your kids teach you a mixed drink count as chemistry? I assume you got the response back, Tone.
Creighton. She did it like, like, hey, you have to give the hyphens, like how you pronounce things. Creighton.
There you go. Then you'll never forget it, Tone.
Creighton. Bella's little friend from Holdridge.
Let's keep moving on with school days. Oh, yeah. This one, homeschooling day 12, fed the math homework to the dog myself. I can appreciate that. And, there was always that excuse. Oh, the dog ate my homework. I don't know if that ever actually happened, but I could see where somebody would be compelled to at least maybe nudge the dog in that direction.
Yeah. We never had that problem with the dogs. They never ate the homework. It always seemed like a lazy excuse for not doing your work, right?
I don't know anybody in real life who actually used that excuse.
No, I don't either. I did have a dog once. I ate my PlayStation games. I was pretty pissed.
Oh.
They ate my Ridge Racer.
Oh, no.
Came home from school. Ridge Racer was all damaged. And that game was cool back then. I don't think it would hold up today, but it was cool back then.
Maybe. Let's keep moving on. We're talking school days. Oh, yeah. Says, Dad, the lunch lady said some really bad words today. Son, your mom is under a lot of stress these days.
Truth. Oh. Lunch lady Doris was pissed because she had to make your dad, a ham and cheese sandwich. She had to make you your gluten-free Udi's sandwich. It gets hard. Life is hard.
But to be fair, Dad does get to boink the lunch lady, so there's that.
Oh, they're very lucky Dad and Doris. No, he right got that lunch lady.
Let's keep moving on. We're talking school days. Oh, yeah. Parents, what the hell? I don't know how to teach 4th grade math and science. School districts, you're going to learn today. Goes back to what we were saying. Yeah. You have to learn just as much. And, as my kids get older, if they have to keep doing the homeschooling, it may get beyond my capabilities.
You're going to be like, okay. You just figure it out.
Luckily we've got phones and calculators and Google at our disposal, so it makes things a little bit easier.
It dumbs us down a bit, but it is easier because you're like, I could try to figure out, but it's just easy to do this.
Exactly.
Done. It's done.
Speaking of easier, and finally in school days. Oh yeah. Homeschooling has been a hot mess. I told my son to just focus on his rap career.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
Going to pay better in the long run anyway.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that does it for this segment. When we come back, we're heading into the final segment of the show. It is time for This Day in History. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Well, folks, we made it back to the final segment of this episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show on a Tuesday, March 2nd. It's good to be back. It's good to be live, but if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Give me a hell yeah.
Saved by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hell yeah.
While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think. And tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
It is caring, which is why we do this segment each and every day. We try to drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Crossing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, let's kick things off this day in 1498. Vasco da Gama's fleet visits Mozambique Island. Just fun words to say, Vasco da Gama and Mozambique.
Oh, yes.
Moving on this day in 1629, English King Charles I dissolves Parliament against opposition, imprisoning 9 members of Parliament. Apparently, if you were king, you could do that. Just you don't like something.
King Charles I, and if I don't like it, then off with your head, and then I will broom you with my cool beard and my cool music.
And they certainly liked chopping people's heads off back then.
Yeah, they did. Savages.
Yep. Let's keep moving on. This day in 1796, Napoleon Bonaparte is appointed commander-in-chief of the French army in Italy. Of course, we know how he celebrated. He went over to good old Farrell's and ordered a Piggly Wiggly ice cream trough.
Excellent!
I love that soundbite.
Every time I hear that name, I know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, you're not going to throw me off by doing something like... I'd be a little disappointed.
No. Same old, but we enjoy it. Let's move on. This day in 1836, the Republic of Texas declares independence from Mexico in Colombia. It's hard to think of a time when Texas wasn't part of the U.S., but for a long period of time it wasn't. It wasn't until the Mexican-American War, which obviously was a result of this.
Yeah, that's crazy. That guy, he's an interesting-looking cat. He's got like big, thick Magnum PI stash with some curly hair. It'd be like if I let it get bushy and then try to slick it. Like, it just looks goofy.
I'm thinking you should, Tone. I think that's what you should go for.
I am going for the George Childress in honor of Texas independence.
All right, let's move on. This day in 1867, the Jesse James gang robs a bank in Savannah, Missouri, killing one.
Jesse.
Drop! And he does look
because they dropped the one.
Yeah, he does look a lot like Jesse James, former Mr. Sandra Bullock and
American Choppers. Yeah,
he wasn't American Choppers. He was West Coast Choppers.
West Coast Choppers. Gotcha.
Yep. All right, let's move on. This day in 1882, Queen Victoria narrowly escapes assassination when Roderick McLean shoots at her while boarding a train in Windsor. Fatality. Or near fatality.
You'll never catch me. I'm the queen.
I don't know if I'd ever want to be in a position where every day I'd have to fear for an assassination attempt.
Yeah. I was trying to shoot your little crown. I thought it was a target, Queen. I was trying to hit you, just your little crown. I had my little pew-pew ready to go. Ba-doo.
Let's move on. This day in 1903, Martha Washington Hotel, catering to women only, opens in New York City. I'm guessing married couples couldn't stay there, but good for them for being a trailblazer and a new way of doing business.
It's going to be women only, so you're going to have to go.
Is that how they talk in New York City, Tom?
They do, because she looks British. She kind of does, or maybe she looks a little old lady. She's the first lady. Okay, I screwed that up. It's the first U.S. lady.
That's why we move on. For instance,
she's more like, hello, I'm Martha Washington.
Still British, Tom.
Yay.
This day in 1933, King Kong, film directed by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. Schoedsack, starring Fay Wray, premieres at Radio City Music Hall and RKO Roxy in New York City. And of course, that was groundbreaking for the time with the stop motion animation. And we're getting ready to get a new King Kong movie here pretty soon, Godzilla vs. Kong, which looks
looks pretty dang good, actually. Yeah, the old stop motion, and then who would have thought the girl would fall in love with the big monkey?
Yeah. Not sure how that would work out.
Yeah. This is my guy. His name's King. He's kind of a Kong, and he's got a little dong, but he's king. He's a monkey.
Even little for him would be way too big.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on. This day in 1942, the 14th Academy Awards, where How Green Was My Valley, Gary Cooper, and Joan Fontaine were all big winners. I know you remember that fondly, Tone, right?
I do. It was one of my favorite movies. It was just because that valley was so green, and I was just like, well, how green is it? And it was just green. Was it Kermit the Frog green? Was it M&M green? Like what?
Yeah, and you had to wait till the very end, and then they threw that at you, and they were dead the whole time. And
and it turned out it was blue. Wasn't even green. Weird.
Easy. Let's keep moving on. This day in 1956, Lottie Miss Claudie, single cover released by Elvis Presley.
Lottie Miss Claudie, hey, Lottie Miss Claudie, hoo-de-boo-de-boo.
It's even when they put the Southern accent into the name itself, it's interesting.
Lordy, Miss Claudie, that's right.
I assume it
shake it up with you, Miss Claudie.
Meant to be like Lordy Miss Claudie. Who knows?
Anyway. Loudy Miss Claudie. I hope Volbeat does a song called that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Lordy Miss Claudie. Boo.
Let's move on. 1962, President John F. Kennedy announces the U.S. will resume above-ground nuclear testing. Of course, Nevada is one of those major nuclear test sites far south from here, but
Yucca Valley.
It makes you wonder what they were doing below ground and where they were doing that before.
That's crazy. We are going to do above-ground nuclear testing. We will no longer do it below.
Moving on, this day in 1965, one of the most popular musical films of all time, The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, is released, and it was the Academy Award Best Picture the following year in 1966.
I've never seen that movie. I was a double VHS tape, and I had no desire to sit through it. Did you have to watch it for film school?
No. Luckily, we didn't. And I had seen bits and pieces of it growing up. The musicals are really not my jam. So,
not mine either.
Yeah, luckily was able to skip that. Let's move on. This day in 1967, the 9th Grammy Awards. Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra wins Best Record, and Michelle by the Beatles wins the Best Song.
Almost sing a song about Michelle, but we're going to lose out to Frank.
No,
I used to remember Strangers in the Night without the rubbers. For some reason, I just remember that version of it.
Let's move on to in 1977. Future The Tonight Show host Jay Leno debuts on with Johnny Carson. Boy, that was hard to say. Future The Tonight Show host Jay Leno debuts with host Johnny Carson.
He had to have been super young.
Oh, totally. Because he didn't take over.
Hey, you know what it is.
Boy, it's the end of the show in my brain.
It is. Remember Jay Leno did a movie with Mr. Miyagi?
No.
Yeah, they did a movie together in the 80s.
Really? That sounds terrible.
I never saw it, but they did do a movie together. Actually, I liked Jay Leno up until the Conan O'Brien debacle, and then I thought he was just a douchebag after that.
Yeah.
I just lost interest in him. Like, I didn't watch his second run as the Tonight Show host.
A great host, terrible actor. He's in Last Man Standing with Tim Allen, and not the greatest. Let's move on. This day in 1981, discovery of minor planet 5020 Asimov, named after sci-fi writer Isaac Asimov. Do you dream of Electric Sheep, Tone?
No, I dream of 5020.
All right, and then let's see. We got time for, I think, one more. Boy, lot of hockey stuff in here, but
a lot of hockey. There is a lot of hockey stuff.
Here we go. This day in 2004, Indianapolis Colts signed quarterback Peyton Manning to a 7-year, $98 million deal with a $34.5 million signing bonus, largest package to date in NFL history.
It was big as the forehead. It was
Exactly.
a big deal. In all seriousness, though, like he would play out that contract pretty much because it was in his last year that they let him go. Well, because he was injured, so it like kind of went over that next year, and that's when they cut him, and then he came to us. So.
Exactly. Well, folks, we are getting down into our last 30 seconds. Not even enough time to play the little intro, but holidays. It is International Rescue Cat Day, National Banana Cream Pie Day, National Sportsmanship Day, Old Spice Day, Peace Corps Day, World Teen Mental Wellness Day, Read Across America Day. Whew, that was a lot to say.
There's a lot.
Folks, we will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode, and we will see you on a Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Nerdy Obsession. Download the radio app.
See ya.